Cowboys Nation. Something big just went down in Dallas. I'm talking about a wave of roster cuts that hit this team out of nowhere. And yes, it includes a player many of us never expected to see let go. This isn't one of those little Tuesday cleanups. This is the type of roster shakeup that tells you the front office is in panic mode, urgency mode, season on the line mode, and with the Eagles coming to town, you can feel the desperation. Before we dive into all of this, do me one huge favor. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and help us hit our goal of 12,000 subscribers here on Dallas Cowboys Today. Alright, deep breath, Cowboys Nation. Let's talk about what just happened, because these cuts are absolutely wild.
Dustin on, throwing hand. Peter, what are you watching for in Week 12?
It's a gift, Greeny. The Cowboys can salvage the season with not only beating the Eagles, but then the Chiefs on Thanksgiving, and then the Lions. It could all happen. Look, I was there 2 weeks ago when they looked horrible against the Cardinals, and I was there on Monday night when they looked unbeatable against the Raiders. Has the Cowboys season changed after the bye week? We will see. 3 tough tests, but I kind of like their chances.
Receive it. All right,
Jeff, you're going to have to receive it.
For anyone who didn't see what happened yesterday, again, I want to make it clear exactly what happened. I finished the show. I'm just going on in my day. And all of a sudden, our executive producer, Pete McConville, is running over to me, and he's yelling, Greeny, Stephen A. is obliterating you on First Take right now. You got to go in there and have a little fun. So I go in there, and we had a little fun.
I just want to thank all my colleagues at ESPN this morning for making me laugh. Mike Greenberg made me so proud this morning. I watched him sit up there, and he was making such a big deal of the Cowboys. And I looked at Greeny, and I said, is this get up or is this entertainment tonight? You would have thought the Cowboys played somebody. They're playing the Raiders. You're very good, you. You are very good, you. Oh, my Lord, you. Perfection this morning.
Will you all just say with me, how about them Cowboys?
You were on national television?
Yes.
Talking to America at 8 a.m.
Yeah.
Eastern Standard Time. Did you see the Cowboys? I would encourage everybody in Dallas to watch Get Up. Watch today. Find today's Get Up. Go watch Get Up. There is no one better than you.
Keep saying
I just want to say that Greeny's got us all thinking, what if they win those 3 games?
What if they do?
What if they, see?
Yes.
See?
What if they do?
Plan on double duty. You're going to be right here Monday.
What the hell have I done here? So,
that is great.
Look, it's so much fun. You guys go in there with him all the time. I'm not in there with him all the time.
Oh, he was on one.
He was going crazy.
He was on one.
Look, I'm in, and I'll tell you why I'm in. I don't know that the Cowboys are going to make a playoff run. But I do think they're going to win Sunday. I really do.
I know
and
you
I think
do.
once they win Sunday, Jeffrey, once they beat the Philadelphia Eagles. Look, the Eagles want to win that game 13-10. They want to beat you 13-10.
Yeah.
And I'm here to say that with CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens, I don't think you hold them to 10. And if they do, then I'm wrong. And Lord knows I've been wrong before. But I think the Cowboys win that game. And if they do, then things start to get very interesting looking at the Chiefs on Thanksgiving. I'm looking directly at my Cowboys truther over there, my hater, my skeptic, Jeff Saturday.
I mean, let's just slow it down for a second. We beat the Raiders. Okay, it was not. It was not like they didn't play. They didn't play the best competition. They had no run game. They tried to throw it with Geno Smith about 50 times. They played into the Cowboys, and we know the Cowboys' offense is legit. I love the addition, the pieces that the Cowboys added. To think they can beat the Eagles, the Chiefs, the Lions, and then the Vikings to get themselves back in the race, I'm just not there.
One game at a time, Jeff.
Don't you know anything about football?
I'm just trying to go 1-0 this week. I'm just trying to go 1-0 this week. That's it.
Come on, bro.
1% better every day.
I mean, the addition to the D-line, Quentin Williams is probably the most important one. We saw the way that they beat the Raiders, which is encouraging because if you can win up front, you can win. The reason why it's a little discouraging is because the issues in the back end, we didn't know they get tested.
No.
They couldn't do anything to attack downfield. So we'll see. I think the Eagles have offensive line injuries, but they'll be able to design something to give Jalen Hurts enough time to attack downfield. That's the real question.
Let me give Lewis a chance we talked about the Cowboys this morning. We will again. Let me give you a chance to address something else. Part of my reasoning has to do with all these new additions on the Cowboys. Another part of it is the Eagles.
Yeah.
That the way they're playing on offense it just has to catch up to them.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll be wrong, and maybe it won't, and maybe they'll win the Super Bowl again, looking exactly like this. They did it last year, and they got kind of hot at the right time, but they were mostly led by Saquon, and that hasn't been the case this year. Part of my belief in the Cowboys can win this Sunday is because I think the way the Eagles have been playing has to catch up to them.
Look, A.J. Brown himself said to expect us to be able to just flip a switch and turn it on when we need it, as far as the passing game clicking with the explosiveness outside the numbers down the field, to expect us to be able to just flip a switch, you're fooling yourself. He said this is the kind of thing we need to address now before it starts catching up to us. This is the kind of game where it could catch up to them, because let's just put it this way. Let's just say that all those additions up front for the Dallas Cowboys on the interior of their defense actually do shut down the Eagles' run game.
Yeah.
Now, the Eagles ran the football on them week 1.
Right.
They ran it for them like about 130 plus,
Mostly
150 plus in
Jalen
that
Hurts
game.
ran a lot
Okay,
of it, yeah.
exactly. But this defense is different now. So what if it does become a game where now Jalen has to throw the football?
Right.
He has to get on the same page as Devontae. He has to get on the same page as AJ. They're not on the same page right now. And I don't think anyone inside or outside of that building would say that they are. Inside or outside of that building. So that's why I think this game is all the more intriguing. Those additions up front for Dallas, they beat the Raiders down exactly like they should have.
Agreed.
They treated them just like you should. And it looks different now. It looks different. Let's see this week. But it looks different.
This is the problem with Green. The Cowboys they
suck you in.
He sucked in.
Pulled me back in.
He's back.
He's trying to get in Jerry's box.
Because I am old enough to remember when the Cowboys had a historically bad defense, and we were looking at them like, what is this
two
unit?
weeks ago?
Yeah.
Kobe
Brissett and Bam Knight.
I remember that.
I think Bam Knight just scored another touchdown.
Okay. But now, again, to your point, the additions on defense, not just the new guys, but the guys coming back from injury, huge. But to say that beating the Raiders is the thing that will catapult them to potentially beating the Eagles, even if they beat the Eagles, that's a division game. I could see that happening. But again, what's the next step? Oh, you got to beat the Chiefs. What's the next step? Oh, you got to beat the Lions. Oh, and then you have to beat the Vikings.
That's a gauntlet.
That is a gauntlet, and I feel like I want to get to, I'm a columnist by trade. I'm a reporter, feature writer. I love a storyline. But I also like living in reality. So that's where.
1 week at a time. Tell him, Greeny. We're not trying to win 3. We're trying to just win 1.
I was there Monday night, and to take it to a different direction here, they get off the bus. They're all wearing the Marshawn Kneeland shirts. I talked to Quinnen Williams pregame, talked to Dak pregame. Something might have changed during the bye week when you go through a traumatic event like they did, where it seemed like they were all on the same page on Monday in that locker room afterwards, and Shoddy's quotes both before the game and afterwards, and the way Dak handled it. Perhaps there was a galvanizing moment, whether it be on the football field or off in the locker room, that they all looked at each other and said, enough with the outside noise, enough with everything else, let's focus on each other. And I'll tell you what, I like them against the Eagles this week also.
Yeah, I do.
The one unit that we haven't talked about is probably the best unit that's going to be out there is that Eagles defense. And that's the real question. Like, how good the Cowboys defense is against the Eagles offense, I'm less concerned about. Is this Cowboys' incredible offense going to be able to move the ball and score against this Eagles defense, which it feels like in the last few weeks, some good offenses have not been able to breathe.
We spent so much time talking about the Cowboys defense, but it's the actual.
That is a great point, because that really is where the game's going to be decided. Up front, the Eagles' defensive front 7 right now has looked like it started to find its stride now. Jalen Phillips coming there is a huge, huge addition for them. That's a Clash of the Titans battle right there. Yeah. I will say this, though. Look, the way that Dallas is constructed offensively, inside and on the perimeter, they can match up with anybody. Anybody. So but I'm telling you, the Achilles heel, we've said it on this show for years, has always been the interior of their defensive front, and it is not the same as it was in the past. That has to make a difference this week.
The loss of Lane Johnson, as you pointed out earlier, that is huge.
And if there is a weakness on the Eagles' defense, it's once you get deeper into their coverage players. And when you have 2 really good receivers, oftentimes teams go up against the Eagles and they're trying to get their better receiver matched up against one of the weaker corners, away from Quinyon Mitchell, away from Cooper DeJean. The Cowboys have the situation where we're not sure who's tougher to cover, CeeDee Lamb or George Pickens.
Whoever
it's
is
a tough matchup issue. If they can protect, and Dak, you know how good Dak is. If they can protect, this might be the first team to be able to move the ball effectively and consistently against this new Eagles.
Whoever is opposite Quinyon Mitchell, hydrate. You're gonna be running a lot.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, if the Cowboys find a way to win this, I will get myself a pink suit.
You need
and
to
I
go
will
back
go
on
sit
your
in
stage.
Stephen's box.
You and Stephen A will be in the
I'm
box
gonna be-
together.
So here's the situation. The Cowboys came off a 2-week break. A weird one, an emotional one, a bye week that felt like it lasted forever and solved absolutely nothing. Then they go to Las Vegas, they beat the Raiders, they show life again for the first time in weeks. And apparently the time in the desert was like some kind of therapy session, because the moment this team landed back in Dallas, they wasted 0 time making roster changes. Remember, we're sitting at 4-5-1. We've got the 8-2 Philadelphia Eagles coming to AT&T Stadium. We already lost to them in week 1, a 24-20 heartbreaker after that weather delay completely flipped the game's momentum. If the Cowboys lose again, season over. So yeah, these moves mean something. Let's start with the headline. Dallas has waived 4th-year linebacker Damone Clark. This one shocked a lot of people. Clark isn't a superstar, but he's a former starter, a guy who knows this defense and someone who's played in big games for this team. He started 26 career games, including all 17 games in 2023. That's not a small resume. The Cowboys didn't stop there. Tight end John Stevens Jr. waived injured from the practice squad. Center Wesley French released from the practice squad as well. Anytime you see 3 cuts in a single day, especially during a short week before the biggest game of the season, it tells you the coaching staff is trying to send a message or open up flexibility somewhere else on the roster. Let's talk about Clark, because this is clearly the move fans are debating the most. Here's the truth. The linebacker room has changed. The roles have changed. The scheme has changed. And Clark just didn't fit what Mike Zimmer wants right now. You've got Micah Parsons doing everything everywhere. Eric Kendricks, the veteran voice directing Zimmer's defense. Maris Lufau, the rookie who's flashing real promise. DeMarvion Overshone, the speed demon who brings range nobody else has. Clark became the odd man out. And with Dallas trying to shore up both trenches and special teams, depth at linebacker simply wasn't the priority anymore. The timing of this move is not random. This team is desperate to enter week 12 with the cleanest, strongest, most flexible roster possible. A couple things are going on. 1, short week, they play Philly in just a few days. 2, injuries and IR activations. Dallas needs room on the roster. 3, new defensive identity under Zimmer. Slow linebackers get exposed. 4, playoff hopes on life support. No more patience, no more waiting. This is the coaching staff saying, we're going with guys who can help us win now. Not next month, not next year, now. Now, here's a quick breakdown of the structure heading into Week 12. Active 53-man roster, Dallas filled the spots left open by today's cuts, and now sits at a fully loaded roster heading into the Eagles game. Every remaining player is expected to be available unless listed otherwise by Friday's injury report. Practice squad, 16 players. The Cowboys trimmed 2 spots, opening flexibility, either to elevate depth for Philly or to sign emergency help later in the week. Injured reserve, IR. This group is still fairly crowded, but a couple names could be nearing windows to return. That means more roster adjustments might be coming, and today's cuts could be just the beginning. This game on Sunday, this is the season. I'm not sugarcoating anything. The Cowboys are trying to get faster on defense, more explosive on offense, cleaner on special teams. You don't make cuts like this unless you believe the roster you had wasn't good enough to beat the Eagles. Dallas knows that one more loss might be the final nail in the coffin, and Jerry Jones absolutely refuses to go out quietly. But now I need to hear from you, Cowboys Nation. Were these cuts the right move? Are you shocked the team moved on from Damone Clark? Do you think the roster is better or worse heading into Week 12? Drop your thoughts down in the comments. I read every single one. And don't forget, hit like, subscribe. Help us reach that 12,000 subscriber goal. I'm Victor. This is Dallas Cowboys Today. And I'll see you on the next one. And as always, go Cowboys.